So should you relocate for a job opportunity? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you what you need to consider before relocating for a job opportunity, including my personal experience doing so. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Ryan Corte, and this is Ryan Reflects. On this channel, I share with you actionable personal development content, as well as my thoughts on trending topics and common life experiences. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, throughout any point in the video, make sure you check out the notes and links in the description below. Relocating for a job opportunity is a big decision. In fact, I've done it twice. So I relocated after residency from Chicago down to the state of North Carolina over in Charlotte. And then as of recently, I relocated from Charlotte out to Asheville, North Carolina to expand our practice. And in doing so, it was stressful. I learned a lot about myself. And one time I did it while I was single. Another time I did it with a wife and 2 kids, totally different experiences. So I'm going to walk you through what you need to consider before doing so, including some key points, pros and cons, stuff like that. First things first, you need to even think about, is relocation even necessary to take on that new opportunity? In today's very remote, work-driven world, it might not be. Many opportunities are being presented to people and they're entirely remote opportunities. It's not a hybrid role, it's not an in-person role. This is something you need to think about at the very beginning. Now, if you're thinking about career advancement within that organization or company, oftentimes relocation is important. But for an initial role or for an opportunity role, you definitely want to consider, hey, do I even need to relocate? Is this something I can do purely remote? Next, you have to think about, is this job or role or company even a good fit for you? And you have to take a step back and think about your personal life. Does it fit well with your personal life and your professional life? Where do you see your career path going long term? Is this a right step in the right direction? Or is it something where it doesn't really fit your core mission in life and where you want to be 5-10 years down the road? You could job shadow, and if that's something where you have to fly out and see it in person, hey, why not? See if the company will do that for you. A lot of times they'll even remote you in. You can do interviewing with people that have the current role or people that have had the role. You can kind of reach out and read up on a lot of different reviews that are posted on the internet based on the specific job title and role. All these things need to be considered before you relocate for the position. And what about the actual cost to relocate? For example, when I moved from Illinois down to North Carolina, that was a hike, right? And I had to relocate a lot of different things, and it was a little bit expensive at the time. Now, that was me when I was single, but if you're relocating from one area of the country to a completely new area, you need to think about this and see if there's any employer assistance. If it's local, maybe you're just relocating a couple hours away, again, still something that you want to reach out to your employer or your potential employer and find out if there's an opportunity for some assistance, maybe a sign-on bonus or an increase in base salary. But these things you need to consider because it costs money to relocate. Next, consider, what is the job market like in that area? Is it an area that has 1, 2, 3 big companies and that's it? And if you relocate there, you're kind of stuck working between those roles within those organizations? Or does it open up a whole new world of opportunity for you based on the particular career path you're in? Also, what does the competition look like there? If you're relocating and you're in a service-based role or you're in a role where there's a lot of competition for particular opportunities, something you need to consider before relocating. Another key thing to consider is the cost of living to where you're actually considering relocating. First and foremost, where are you going to live? What does that look like? You're going to have to rent. What does renting look like? How expensive is it? Are you going to be able to buy? Right now, it's hard to buy in various areas of the country. We have a housing shortage. What would that look like? Do you currently own a home and are you going to have to sell the home that you have to relocate? Things definitely to consider. Plus, taxes, right? What does the change in your tax rate going to look like? Very, very important to consider that before you relocate. And we all do a lot more than just work. You want to live. So what is your quality of life going to look like? What's the weather? Right? Are you moving from, North Michigan, where you get snow for about, a third of the year or more, down to Texas? And are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with that climate different and change? How about opportunities to explore locally or regionally? You're going to have access to the mountains, to the beach, to a big city, to good, arts and culture and food. All those things are things to take into consideration because there's so much more to life than just working. And that includes living, right? You got to be able to live and enjoy your quality of life. How will this impact your family? Well, when I did my first relocation from Illinois down to North Carolina, I thought about, of course, my parents, my sisters, but I didn't have a wife. I didn't have kids. It was an easier move, a lot less to consider because I knew that the opportunity was a good one and I wanted to be in the Carolinas. The second move, moving from a region of North Carolina, Charlotte, over to Asheville, which is 2 hours away, I did that with my wife and my 2 young kids. And what is that going to look like for them, right? What is the quality of life going to look like? The education system, the structure, our network, our people, right? People that we have grown, these strong friendships with, and we're going to be able to stay in touch, and we're going to be able to develop new strong friendships. All those things are things you got to consider because if you're moving solo, well, it's just you. But if you're moving with your family, you definitely have to take that into consideration. And for many, they don't really want to live where they grew up or where they've been for a long period of time. So how are you going to deal with change? And I can tell you, anytime that you change something in your life, it's a career path, whether it's a big life change personally, give yourself at least 6 months to adapt to that change before you make a judgment. And if you're somebody who struggles to make small little changes, well, maybe relocation is not something that you should consider because you're used to what you've done your entire life and you've grew up in a certain area and you're very comfortable with that. But for somebody who maybe has more of a dynamic viewpoint or vantage point on their life and how it's going to continue to change over time, think about how you're going to handle this change and then give it some time to truly assess how you feel about that change. Is there opportunity for advancement if you relocate? And we got to think about the world nowadays. There are roles that are truly remote. There's hybrid roles. And then there are roles that are service-based roles. And guess what? I'm in one of those roles as an optometrist. And so you have to think about, do you have to physically be there for advancement over time? Or is it something that if you are living and working remotely, can you advance over time by doing so? And I can tell you, it never hurts to be face-to-face with people within your organization eventually, right? And we're all working towards that in a variety of capacities. A lot of companies are doing more of a hybrid approach. But what does that advancement opportunity look like over time? And you should really consider that before relocating for a career opportunity. And last but not least, are you ready for the unknown? Relocation can be scary, it can be stressful, it can be strenuous on not only your personal life just for you, but your family and your professional life. But you got to take risks in life to advance. And I can tell you that if you remain stagnant and you don't consider relocating throughout various times in your career and you want to grow, well, you may not grow to where you truly want to be. Then again, it all depends on what industry you're in and what you do. But relocating is a great way to go ahead. It's a sacrifice, but a great way to jump the ladder and increase your ability to rise within a particular career path. So what are your thoughts on relocating for a job opportunity? Are you for it, against it? Are you considering it? Let me know in the comments below and make sure to stay tuned for my next video where we can reflect and grow stronger together.